Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Bravo Bunch. We are back after a week off to talk about crazy week in Bravo. I am so excited to be here. I am Sam Henson. I am one of the three co-hosts here. Joining me today is Kristian. Kristian, how are you doing?
I'm good. I feel like there was a lot to talk about this week in Bravo, and there seems to be
Yes.
like just a 24-hour news cycle coming out of the Housewives franchise. So I'm excited to get to it.
I know things are really picking up in terms of news. Also joining me to talk about the news is Josh Mendelson. How are you doing, Josh?
Hi, Sam. I'm doing good. Lots of news this week. It was a big week in Bravo.
It is a big week in Bravo. We're not going to even cover all the news because we don't have the time, but I want to talk about the highlights in terms of what's been happening. So let me first talk about the J-Lo and A-Rod of it all, because this is kind of updates to a story we have previously talked about, and it just continues to blow my mind that this is even in the world of Bravo. So again, let me set up what happened. So Madison, she is a character on Summer House. She is very like she's a main character, but she literally just got brought on. She is basically the third party mistress, if you will, to J Lo and A Rod. So on Friday, news broke that the two of them had officially broken up, that their engagement was called off because they're not yet married. And then I think on Monday they walked it back and said, "Oh no, we're still together." But a lot of people see that the breaking point in terms of what got them to this was the Madison LaCroix drama on Southern Charm. Did I say Summer House before? She's on Southern Charm. So in the reunion, they talked about this. They blurred out A-Rod's name because she apparently went clubbing with A-Rod in Florida and had to sign NDAs in the process. But then a couple of cast members broke that it was A-Rod's name that was blurred out afterwards because they didn't sign the NDA, so they just like went ahead and said it. And that's apparently J-Lo and A-Rod have been like going through it. And I personally think that they had this super open relationship because they're both worth like billions of dollars, and like who knows if they actually really like each other, but they're like huge business partners. And I think part of the reason why they don't want to split is because they have so much tied business ventures in terms of like alcohol brands and, you know, you name it. But like the fact that J-Lo is even in the same sentence as this, I would say, D-list Bravo celebrity. And if you were to even grade on Bravo celebrities, Madison LaCroix is like D-list Bravo. So, like D-list Bravo is like...
Sam's coming for her.
I'm coming for her. She is like mega, like, I don't use this word a lot because I don't like it a lot, but if I had to think of someone who was actually trashy, like it would be someone like Madison LaCroix. And okay, so Southern Charm isn't renewed yet, but I think we will get there because I need to see this drama play out on my television screen. I need to see Madison LaCroix being served by A-Rod's lawyers. I need to see all of this happening because it is drama. If and when Southern Charm does return, we will talk about it, and you will all witness Southern Charm for the first time in its weird glory. But that is the J-Lo A-Rod update. So let's get to our next bit of news, which broke as of a few hours ago. This is Thursday night. We're recording. Tinsley Mortimer and her fiance Scott are done. Their engagement is called off.
How many times was that engagement or relationship called off, though? Let's get real. Tinsley is, I'm sorry, I find Tinsley pathetic because of it. I'm sorry, I do not stand. I think this girl is pathetic and desperate. Sorry, Tinsley. I'm happy you're not on New York anymore because you're desperate. Bye.
Okay, so I will probably say I am someone who really enjoys Tinsley because to me, she's kind of like the Cameron of the New York series. Like she plays this like really fun role where plays this like clueless blonde, and she's always gold digging. And, you know, I think probably through this pandemic, she's probably spent more time with her fiance than she probably had in the years leading up to this on and off relationship. It's too late for her to return for season 13 because season 13's wrapped. Like they're done filming. So she won't be returning for this next season. She was stuck in Chicago. Do we think that she could be coming back for season 14 of Real Houses of New York? Josh, you're shaking your head no.
Nah, not a chance. I know you'd like Tinsley, and I'm happy you did, but a lot of people didn't.
Kristian, what are your thoughts?
I think she's definitely gonna just walk right back into New York. I don't know that I necessarily want her to. I do like Tinsley, but I was happy when she was gone because it just seemed like something that was good for her. But I definitely feel like they would offer it to her.
Okay, so here's my current theory. This ties into our next bit of news. But if Tinsley wants to return, bring her on this all-star season of Real Housewives. Make her vacation with these ladies in Turks and Caicos and have to deal with the fallout of this engagement. Also, I also want to say I don't think they're done. Like these two have gone up and down, up and down. I'm sure they will get back together just because of the nature of it. But I'm here for more Tinsley. I think she adds a really fun element. Her mom is a great character on Real Houses of New York. And she's like basically the same age as Ramona at this point. So like I think she's a fun addition.
No, she's like early 40s, isn't she? Or is she like almost 50?
Ramona?
Tinsley.
Tinsley's like in her 40s, but Ramona is like what, almost 70?
Yeah,
she's like mid 60s.
Yeah.
Okay, so this leads into our next bit of Roni news is that Luann is officially going to be on the Real Housewives spinoff. Apparently, it starts shooting early April in Turks and Caicos. Sonia is rumored to be a part of that cast as well. She's already at Turks and Caicos, potentially quarantining for the bit before they need to start. Yeah, that I'm very excited that Luann is the chief of vacation drama in full glory. So I am very excited for Luann.
Does this mean that Ramona won't be? Because I feel like that's what it was that we heard before was Ramona and Sonia.
We did hear that. I think we'll see. This to me seems that maybe someone else dropped out and Luann stepped in. I think Ramona is for sure a lock on these kind of shows.
I mean, if we get that trifecta, that's funny. Like that.
I think it'd be great. And I think because I was reading in the news article that they say they hope to have one of every of the Housewives franchises represented, or at least the ones that aren't currently filming, which to me says like, okay, maybe we're not going to get two of each. I could see three, like Ramona, Sonia, and Luann are a perfect trio. Luann and Ramona both create a lot of drama on vacation. So I am 100% here for this. Josh, are you here for this?
Who could forget Ya Habibi?
Oh, God.
I just want to see Luann fall into another bush on a vacation. That's
amazing.
what I want.
Oh, so good. So freaking good. Okay. So that's our news for the week. On to our next thing we were talking about last Thursday's Summer House episode. It was a doozy, I had to say. There is a lot to talk about here. There's a lot of fights, but I think to me, the biggest thing I want to talk about, we have to talk about it up front, I think. And that is Strawvy's PowerPoint presentation. I honestly am so shook by that I was like, first, I was shocked that he made it. I was shocked that anyone would read it. If someone said that to me, I wouldn't even read it, right? Like, potential solutions, he stormed off. So basically, at the beginning of the episode, he stormed off from their birthday dinner event, and he was never to be seen again. And it seems to me that throughout the entire week, he was calling and trying to get back with Lindsay into the summer house. But like that would never happen. Kristian, please, as someone who is a student himself, probably made a lot of PowerPoints in his life. What is this PowerPoint? What was he doing here? Please explain it.
First of all, it's like just one of those like template PowerPoint backgrounds that you could open up Microsoft PowerPoint on and access. So I was like, you didn't even really put that much effort into it. Like it was a dumb PowerPoint. The visuals are pretty mundane, pretty stupid. But I just was like so shocked that he pendulum swung this hard on this.
Me too.
Because I was like, if you know Lindsay Hubbard or you've watched Summer House, you know that she has abandonment issues. So the one thing that you would never do if you were trying to vie for her heart is abandon her on her birthday. Like it was just such a absurd situation, and I just thought he was going to be gone for good, or maybe come back as like an angry character through texts and calls and whatnot. But the way that he came back with this PowerPoint, I was like, really giving Lindsay the upper hand.
Josh, do you have thoughts on the PowerPoint?
I laughed just so hard when I saw this. I was like, is this guy for real right now sending her a PowerPoint presentation about how to be the proper girlfriend, what she needs to bring to the table? What is this,
Lindsay
like,
to do, Steven to do. I couldn't believe it. I was shocked that it had come to this. That's when you are making a PowerPoint presentation about your relationship, that's when it's failed. I'm sorry. That is a point of no merit in this life.
Amazing.
Okay, so the other big drama was the Paige, Hannah, Kyle texting drama that I guess occurred. So to set it up, they were chilling one night. I guess a Friday night. So it didn't even look that late because it was still light outside. Paige and Hannah were watching Love Island, and they made it like a real big point to me. Like, I was like, is there some corporate synergy there? Anyways, Paige was like, oh, we're watching Love Island. We're in bed, and they had all their lights off. Paige sends a text to the house, which I don't think the text, what she was trying to say was not bad, but I think what she said was something that maybe she would have known would have triggered some people, but was like, hey, like, turn down the music. We have 10 people in this house. Be courteous, blah, 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 blah. Kyle didn't like it. It ended up becoming a fight. Somehow Paige got out of that fight. Because I think it was Paige that sent those text messages. I was trying to like make sure who sent it. I think it was Paige. But somehow it became a fight between Hannah and Kyle going back and forth again. And it was just like, I don't know. Hannah at this point, she's really testing me.
Mm-hmm. She's a lot.
She's a lot, and I think somehow she has been on the wrong side of almost every fight she has gotten herself into this season. I don't know if this is a trend from her in past seasons, if she just is typically this clueless in life. But I was really struck. Like, obviously, I think Kyle is a dick, and he's like, that's very clear. He's like, he plays the Jax Taylor role of this series. That's my mind. Like,
yes.
I think that's what he does. But he has a little more tact than that. And I think that Hannah's also, if Kyle is the Jackson, Hannah is like the Sheena Shea, who is like in a really rough season off on her own boat. Because I feel like she is fighting a one-man fight. And Kristian, please walk me through this. What were your thoughts on this? Are you team Hannah on this one? Please.
I think I like fall in the same area as Paige, where I'm like, they're just both wrong, and they like their problem is they both cannot handle being wrong, and they both want the other person to be wrong all the time. I was trying to like think through why Hannah's acting this way, and my only like hypothesis is that after last season and just like having that relationship with Luke and Luke coming across as a fuckboy, the fan response was very like, oh my God, we love you, Hannah. So sorry you had to deal with this fuckboy. Like, she's fairly popular after season 4 of Summer House. And so I'm like, maybe it just went to her head. And she just like came into this summer feeling invincible because she really is dying on the weirdest hills.
I think she thinks she is the main character of Summer House.
Yeah.
Like, she thinks that she is the main protagonist of this season.
So my thing is, she apparently was going through this whole thing with, was it Luke or whatever? While she has this boyfriend, boyfriend, that's like significantly older than her, that she's getting engaged to. Like, where is he in the? He's coming on the show this season. So like,
he's coming on the show.
Was he in the picture?
I was shocked to see him in the preview.
I was on like when he showed up in the preview. I was shook. I think that's one thing that's obviously been super confusing about the first few episodes. Is like, okay, why is there so much whiplash between Hannah and Luke when she has this boy named Des, who's apparently this Irish comedian who's 46 years old? I went on a bit of a deep dive to see who this man even is.
46!
I think he's mid-40s. She's what, 26? Like, she has to be like young.
Like, she's quite literally old enough to be her father.
Her father. And looks exactly like Kyle. Like, literally, they have the same kind of like Irish heritage blood. They look the exact same, and that kills me. I don't know. Hannah is just really doing the most this season. I think she's not on Winter House, which is filming right now, and I think that's for a reason. I think she has the chat room show, but I also think she knows that she's getting like a pretty shit edit this season. Like, I think she's probably gonna be very humble next season of Summer House if she returns, if she even wants to return, because I feel like everything has not gone her way. Amanda's getting this like super sympathetic edit because she could like play both sides, being like Kyle's a dick, but also Hannah sucks. And yeah, Hannah just looks like a complete, just like I don't know. You kind of need Hannah to like facilitate this, but she is just doing the absolute most. I do say I have truly come around. I love Sierra. I think she's the prettiest crier I think I have literally ever seen in my life. And I'm just truly obsessed with every time she's on my TV screen. Like I'm literally obsessed with her. Is I alone here?
No, I would say she's probably like one of my favorite characters on Bravo right now. Like she's just so every time she speaks, it's very put together. It's very compelling. I'm just obsessed with her.
She's such a like clear narrator where like everything she says, I'm so 100% like on board with it. And she knows how to tell her story so well. Like it's so clear why she got cast, even though she was this like weird side piece of Luke's. And I'm so glad she was like, fuck Luke, like I'm doing this on my own and like I'm gonna become like my own main character on the show and I'm living for everything Sierra's giving. Let's see who else. I think obviously Lindsay continued to have a big night here. Danielle was like the Lindsay whisperer. I don't know. It looks like and Carl came back.
Can we talk about the music part? Can you guys turn down the music? No.
Yeah, I just like it was just so, as somebody who would consider themselves a very passive aggressive person, I'm like, you knew exactly what you were doing when you did that. I don't care if it was to be considerate or not. Like you were trying to start shit with those texts. We can't no other way around it.
If you wanted the music turned down, just say, hey, can you please turn the music down? End of text. It would have gone over 10 times better than what they ended up sending and what actually came out of it. You don't have to go into like that be courteous, we're 10 people in this house. Like that's when people are like, fuck you, it's a Friday night and it's obviously not even dark out yet. Like, why are you being this way? There's a million rooms in this house that you could watch Love Island in. I don't know why they're even living in like they're sharing the same room in the first place, but that was super extra. Okay, I think that is Summer House. Happy that Carl's back. He's so sweet, and I think he's really having a redemption season from what I could tell from everything about his past. So I am really up on Summer House. It's had a string of incredible episodes. It looks like we have a brawl coming soon, which is like crazy.
I'm so
I don't even know. It looks like it's with like Luke and Kyle and Carl, maybe. I don't even know. But I'm rating this episode 4 out of 5 pool floaties. I thought it was a really great episode. What are your thoughts, Josh?
I'd say 3.5.
Okay.
3.5.
Kristian?
I'm gonna give it 4. Just the PowerPoint narrative was so funny to me.
It was fun.
And Carl came back, so I was content.
I'm happy with Carl. I think the thing about Summer House that it's like really nailing this season and is that it's both really funny and really dramatic. And I think when a Bravo show can juggle both so well, that's when I know it's doing the best. Like it's firing on all cylinders. Okay, so let's get to Real House of Atlanta, where we saw this insane wedding that I don't even know how to really talk about other than like it was just the most like it. I think one thing I'm having to grapple with watching these shows that previously I never had to really think about with reality television is it's hard to watch reality television filmed in COVID. A, because I think all of us are doing nothing, and then B, to see others like just flaunt the rules, even though they're like following rules, or maybe not. Like they're still doing the most or having all these inside events. They have these stupid plastic masks that cover their face that air can obviously flow out of. Like that's the dumbest. Those masks are the dumbest thing in the world. Like I'm so over those stupid masks. It's like it just makes people think that you can wear those masks but they're not real masks. Like that's the thing that's driving me crazy.
Yeah, that was a super spreader event. Like I mean, it was also during like the summer. It was not safe, but Cynthia looked beautiful. Like that dress is. Damn, she looked gorgeous in that dress.
I didn't like the dress.
I liked it either.
I didn't like it either.
I'm sorry, I disagree. I think she looked gorgeous. Cynthia always looks good, in my opinion. I think Cynthia is.
She's a model. She's a supermodel.
Yeah,
she's gonna look incredible.
I think she looked incredible. My problem with the dress is I just like really hate when people do nude illusions and it's not the same color as their skin. I'm like, you spent all of this money to probably have this custom made. The least you could have done is match the nude illusion to the color of your skin. But yeah, this wedding, I was just like, I'm not allowed to meet with my students in more than groups of 6. And I haven't been able to do that since July. So I'm like, how are there literally 200 people just sitting next to each other with these stupid plastic masks on, just hanging out? Like, I don't understand.
I would have been like quadruple mask. Like the anxiety I would have had just attending this wedding would have been like too over the top for me to even handle. But I don't know. Like apparently Andy said on Watch What Happens Live was that after the wedding, production shut down for 2 weeks for everyone to quarantine. So like filming, I'm guessing the Porsche and Dennis scene didn't happen until 2 weeks after the wedding. So that's way later. Because not everyone could get tested because they couldn't force everyone to get tested. They only encourage everyone to get tested. And I don't know what that's about. If it were my wedding, I would be like, please send me proof of a test or you are not coming. And I think that was only because she was like it was like a public wedding, or maybe it was so many people. I don't know what the tea was, but I would have been.
I get that it's like their special day. So like the whole thing was everybody was masked. So Cynthia and Mike didn't have to be. But I was like, why would you put yourself at the highest risk when all of these people are in these plastic masks for you to get COVID at your own wedding?
They don't care. It's 10-10-2020, Kristian. It's 10-10-2020. It's a day in God's hands.
I did get regardless. I got so emotional though. I was like got like chills. I was like, it is happy. Like I, as somebody, even though I started watching Atlanta like 5 months ago, I was like, I feel like I've watched Cynthia grow up.
And like this may be a hot take from me, but at the end of, and I am happy for Cynthia, obviously a big fan, but I like actually really liked Peter at the end of their marriage, which is wild for me because he was such a dick for the first few seasons.
He was horrible, but I mean, he could have. I didn't watch this last season, so
they had this like. I feel like they had this like weird relationship where they didn't like see each other all the time, but I feel like it kind of worked. And I don't know. Mike is like, there's something wrong with that man, and I feel like I'm sorry, I don't think their marriage is gonna last, but that's just my opinion. I'm happy that she is happy. You know, she couldn't wait till 11-11-21. She had to do 10-10-2020. And look, we got an Eva appearance out of that. I was shocked to see Eva come back.
Karen Huger appearance out of this.
Yes, Brandon.
I think Karen was there. I think maybe Giselle was there too, is what I had heard. A lot of ladies. Eva, okay, I'm kind of sad that Eva is not on this season. I really liked Eva in the last season of Atlanta, and the fact that she was like cool with Kenya was really wild. Okay, which brings us to there was the nieces party that I think was the other kind of like big headliner of the night. First off, I'm sorry, I love Marlo. She is not a niece. She is an auntie. She's probably the oldest of all.
She is an auntie. Why is she there? Can I say the aunties and the nieces is the new talls versus smalls? Remember the talls and the smalls?
Yes. I really like the auntie and the nieces division. I think that's really fun. But Marlo is not a niece. I just gotta put that out there. But I think at the event, at this party, there were a lot of things said in confessionals that I think will be brought up at the reunion. Mainly that Portia, the big one to me was that Portia says that Kenya made up with Marlo at that particular time, which I agree with her line of thought there. But then she said Kenya made up with Marlo because Marlo is like weak and not like a free thinker, essentially. And that to me those are big words to say for someone. Marlo has gone up, and she's gone up with in her first season. She went up in South Africa against Sheree, and they were yelling at each other's faces. Marlo is no sheep. I don't think she is. I think that's going to be a big thing coming. I think Marlo to me, please, whatever producer god is out there, please make her a full-time housewife next season. I need to see.
Give her a Peech. Give her a Peech.
I think she has proven herself to be so incredible in this back half of season 13. I want to see all the drama because she's like raising her nephews now. So I want to see her as a mama. I just want to see more Marlo. And she's more than earned it at this point. She's proven that she has life beyond Nene because for so long she was just like Nene's friend, Nene's accessory. Marlo and Nene were fighting. No, they're not. And I think I am living for Marlo this season. I don't know. Kristian, what are your thoughts on this whole nieces party?
I thought it was good. Again, I'm like, why is Marlo here?
Yeah.
I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
That's okay. That's okay. But I was just shocked at Drew and Latoya.
Okay, let's talk about that because I couldn't even follow what was happening. I was trying to take notes, and all of a sudden they were good, and they weren't good. And I think
they were good. Drew said she was matching energy, so they were having fun. They were twerking, they were dancing, and
all of a sudden,
Latoya just had to bring up all the Page 6 drama, which I feel like as long as Latoya is friends with Kenya, there's no way that she can navigate that conversation gracefully.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think she's
of
going to be
involvement in it.
She won't be friends with Kenya for much longer. When Kenya hears that she talked about the alimony stuff in front of all the ladies, the ladies knew that she should not have said it. I think they had all heard of this, and you could tell they had all heard of this, but they didn't know that they could talk about it on camera yet because they were like, "Oh shoot! Like, why did you say watch what you say? Like, don't bring me into this." Porsche was pissed that she got brought into more drama. Porsche. Okay, I have to say I love Porsche. We'll talk about the Porsche and Dennis scene. She's really, I don't know. She's kind of like on her own island this season. I'm not really sure what she is doing. She doesn't want to do anything to me. I think it seems, I don't know. I
just don't understand why she's not owning what she did. It doesn't even matter if she got into that threesome. Why she's not owning it.
I think she's just lying for Tanya, right?
Tanya. Yeah, I don't think she's lying. I just don't think she wants Tanya. She doesn't want to say it because I think then it would admit guilt for Tanya. I think maybe still be in a relationship. I think she's covering it for Tanya, but I don't know. There's just, I love Porsche, but I want her to be more involved. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Okay, the last thing I guess we could talk about is Porsche and Dennis stuff. It is what it is. I think they're finally broken up. They seem to have this weird Tinsley Scott-esque relationship where they are on, they are off, they are on, they are off. We've seen it a million times. Mm-hmm. I think they're fully off. Wait, are they dating right now? They might be. I'm honestly not right. But Kristian, if you had to predict, do you think they'll get back together after this? I don't know.
I mean, I think it's difficult, right? Because they're in this weird middle phase where they clearly want to work out as a family, but Porsche said it herself. She was like, if we didn't have this baby, I wouldn't speak to you anymore. Not only would we not be dating, I just wouldn't talk to you anymore. So I feel at the end of the day, I don't know that it's going to work out at all. But I feel they'll be in close proximity with each other for a long time.
Yeah. Josh, thoughts?
Yeah, I agree with that. I think it's kind of on and off again. I was thinking the exact same thing, the Tinsley Scott thing. It's very similar. But I mean, I'm cool with whatever she decides to do. I love Porsche, and even if she brings it one season and then doesn't another, she's still always going to get a Peech. She's a permanent Peech until she wants to leave, in my opinion.
She has earned her Peech, obviously. I think she was maybe it's because I think she was so present in the early half of this season. Mm-hmm. And now maybe it's because of the stripper drama, whatever it is. I feel like she's just kind of, I don't know. To me, it's also kind of weird that she isn't as tight with the other three main ladies as I don't know, maybe she should be because they've just been through so much for so long and they've all been filming for about the same amount of time. So it's weird that she's kind of off with this other group while also not in the main old ladies group. I don't know. She's kind of doing her own thing. It looks like coming up, we have a Halloween party next. Looks like Kenya has a really insensitive Halloween costume that we'll probably have to talk about.
I'm shocked that nobody stopped her from doing that. I saw it in the previews and I was like,
wait, I didn't see the previews. What is she dressed up as?
She's dressed up as
a Native American, and it's super over the top and it's so painfully 2010 or something. It's that's what every white girl was doing 10 years ago.
It's not cute.
She should know better. Literally, I know she couldn't predict this, but it's Rachel Kirkconnell on The Bachelor is having to go through all this drama, and part of the reason is why she dressed up as a Native American 4 years ago at this stupid sorority party. And so the fact that she got glam doing this, Kenya, I love you, but this is not it. This is Luann doing blackface type levels where it's you have to call it out, but it is what it is. I'm going to give this episode, honestly, I was so kind of freaked out by the COVID stuff that it really threw me this episode. So I'm I'm gonna give this episode 2 out of 5 peaches. Maybe that's low for me. I don't know. What do you think?
I was gonna give it 2.5 out of 5 because I just like was getting so tired of. I get it's your wedding, but Cynthia, you have to like. I was on the same page as Kenya. Like, if you're gonna throw a 200-person event in the middle of a pandemic, like you have to be prepared for Wendy Williams to talk shit. And so I like hated that I spent like half of the episode being like, oh, I feel so bad for Cynthia, and then I finished the episode. I was like, when they got to the wedding, I was like, wait, no, I don't feel bad because this is gross. Like, this is so bad.
It's gross, Josh.
I'm gonna give it a 3.5, and the reason I'm gonna do that is because I'm not gonna think about that it was a super spreader party event. I'm not gonna put that in my head. I'm gonna think about like what we got in the episode, and we did get a wedding. We got some fun appearances from some of our favorite Potomac gals and Atlanta girls. We had a little bit of fighting. We had some Marlo fun. We had Marlo's bootay running around. We got a little bit of it all. So I'm gonna say 3.5.
I think that's fair. I think there's a lot set up for like these last few episodes. I think they're filming the reunion next week for Atlanta, so that means we probably only have like 4, maybe 5 episodes left. So we're getting to the end of the season. I could honestly say I don't know much has really happened, and maybe it's just because I've watched so many seasons of Vanderpump Rules where I'm over wedding stories, and I think I'm so tired. Like the last season of Vanderpump Rules was all about Jax and Brittany's wedding, and I'm so tired of weddings on television. Oh, also, this is a total sidetrack. Another news item was that Lala had her baby the other day, and his name is Ocean, I think, or something like that. But I am honestly, Lisa Vanderpump is on Watch What Happens Tonight. Watch What Happens. She's on it tonight. I think we're gonna get a new season coming up soon of Vanderpump. I think they're gonna start filming soon.
I thought they were canceling it. They're still doing it.
They haven't said anything yet, but I think we're gonna get like a babies plus season. So
I would love it.
That's my prediction. Okay.
I would love a Vanderpump season.
That's it. That's all I wanted to say. Shout out to Lala, I guess, for having a baby. Sheena's having her baby very soon. Let's go to Below Deck Sailing Yacht. There really is not much to say here. We can hit this one really quick. I have to say, I really like this cast, and I think from what I've seen on social media and in general, I think this cast like actually likes each other. Like I think I think we'll see this cast for multiple seasons because they're fun, and they like are already talking about doing another kind of season and voting, which is like so different because the last season of Below Deck, like I felt that everyone was just so truly miserable being there, and they like truly hated each other. But again, there's more COVID drama. I would say the biggest thing that came out of it was like the guests are sick and they're also trash humans. And it's like, I think at the same time, it's like obviously anyone who is in Croatia that is on a mega yacht boat right now is someone who doesn't care about COVID in the first place. Like who in the world is traveling across the world to sail on a boat for a day? You know, like it's just absolutely crazy. It's like stupid drama, but that's kind of like the big thing that happened. There's nothing to even say about that. I'll ask you guys, who are you liking the most out of the season so far? Josh.
Oh, there's some people. I love how douchey Gary, who like denied having sex with Sydney, he just completely denied it. And then there were the print marks over the guest bed, and I was living. I'm actually, we'll get into that, but I'm actually kind of bored with John Luke. I mean, like, okay, his storyline is that he isn't the best worker and sleeps. That's really when they show him is having trouble sleeping. So he sucks. I really like Natasha. Is it Natasha, the chef?
Yes.
Yeah.
I like her a lot. I think she's fun. All the food she makes looks really good. So except for all the fish that she left out, because that probably would have been nasty.
See, I'm like, I have different opinions, I guess. I'm really here for Danny and Daisy. Like,
Danny, I love.
Danny was so funny. And I thought the handprint thing was really funny because I was like, wait, if there's a hand, like, that looked like the handprint is left in dust. And I was like, I think that means that you didn't clean it before. That the person was idiot. Like, it was gross before, and now there's just the handprint there. So that was funny. And I love a chief stew getting pissed about things that like in reality take like 5-10 minutes to do, right? And so she's getting mad about them using the bathroom and calling them out over the radio. I was like, yes, Miss Daisy, like try and assert your dominance on this ship because it's gold.
She called a crew meeting. I was honestly like, and Captain Glenn was just there being like, I'm enjoying this drama. And I have to say, John Luke, he was so reluctant to move into a cabin with Captain Glenn. Like, why? I would be so for that.
Daddy Captain Glenn, I'm down.
Sam's like, I don't have to sleep on the top bunk. I'll just curl up with Captain Glenn.
Captain Glenn has a huge bed. Did you see that? He has like a double bed. I'm like, woo,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, Daisy. I was also live Daisy like mega drama. I think we're setting up for a big kind of cheap like stewardess versus bosun type drama. I'm living for. I feel like JL being like the lazy deckhand. You see that shit literally every season, and it's like whatever. I don't really care about that. But Gary being like the player he is, I think this is the kind of show where like that kind of character is perfect because it's just like you want to see the messiness. It looks like we're gonna have a love triangle between Allie, the third stew, Miss Sydney, who is this messy deckhand, and Gary himself, who is just a messy girl. They're all messy. And I don't know. I think we're also getting towards a big blow up between Daisy and Natasha. And I'm so here for that.
So ready for it.
It's just so apparent they don't like each other and they're just trying to make it
I feel
work.
like Natasha's going to win that battle. I'm putting my eggs in her basket.
I think Natasha, because Natasha is like one of those people that like lives in her own fantasy kind of delusion type. And I only say that out of love because I really love Natasha. But like when she gets into a fight, it's gonna like be full stop. Like I'm 100% correct and make Daisy be like, well, am I wrong? Like that's kind of the fights they've had going up to this point. So I'm here for it. It was a lot of build up. The guests are gross. I love Captain Glenn. I'm gonna give this episode a 2 out of 5. And we haven't even said what it should be out of yet. I don't know. Maybe sales? 2 out of 5 sales.
Chamois?
Yeah, let's say.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll still workshop what it's out of. But you're gonna say 2?
I'd say 2. It wasn't that eventful. Like there was a passenger that got sick. Like 2.5.
Okay, Kristian.
I'm gonna give it a solid 2. This was a burner episode. It is what it is.
It's gonna happen. Like in the age of COVID, we had to evacuate the ship. The guests were pissed, and I was like, "Of course you're pissed because you're garbage people for being here in the first place." Okay, we'll have to get over that because there's gonna be a lot more guests to come. So that is Below Deck Sailing Out. Let's get to Dallas. Real Housewives of Dallas. I think again, this is my favorite episode of the week. I have to say, Dallas has a lot of problems in terms of like some of the content they have in their episodes can be extremely problematic. I think versus previous seasons compared to this season, some of that all of that problematic behavior, in my opinion, is portrayed as super negative. And so I think now that Brandy quitting Instagram continues to make so much sense to me, knowing what she had coming up in the next few episodes, because literally that was in that weird break where Dallas had like a week off. And ever since we've come back from that break, she has looked absolutely horrible. So let's continue to, there was 2 big events that happened this week. And again, I think back to what I was saying with Summer House, Dallas is that show to me where it makes me die of laughter and there's a ton of dumb drama. And I have to say, Deandra and Tiffany absolutely are making this season so incredible. Deandra is an MVP for me. So let's because they're both like 2 big things. They're both 2 big parties. Let's start with the first one, and that was like the shaman event.
We chai. I'm like, what the hell is this? Okay, like this is a mess.
It was incredible. We learned last week that Darren, the shaman, was Stephanie's hair girl. He used to do her hair extensions. That was an incredible revelation that only could be done in something like a Bravo show to me. And I don't know, there was something about the shaman event that I was I was dying of laughter. Like when they did the kaleidoscope effect with the editing and they were just singing the songs. They were like, flying so high. And then it literally looks like an episode. It literally looked like it was straight out of the movie Midsummer, which was just absolutely gagging me because they were wearing like those white and blue caftans. Kristian, I
Right.
need to hear your thoughts on this shaman event, please.
I was just
please.
watching it and I was like, this is distasteful. like, like, not only are all the housewives being distasteful, the editors are being distasteful. Like everybody except Deandra and the poor shaman. Like this is just so distasteful.
He's probably mortified watching this back too. I do feel kind of bad for that because they like made a complete joke out of it, which like it is a real thing that he's doing. And it is like funny to watch, but it's a real thing. So I don't know.
And I feel I just was kind of surprised. Like I don't think it's like that big of a deal, but like they've had Tiffany talk about like pretty intellectually surrounding Eastern medicine and the stuff that Deandra does. And so it was just funny from that last episode to hear that. And then for it to be this hard switch where they're like, let's just turn this literally into a gag where everybody's going to be fucking rolling.
Well, maybe apparently not Jennifer. Jennifer apparently loved it, even though we never got to see her really enjoy it. But I had to say, like, this to me is like classic. I could not think of a more housewife storyline than someone like getting really into the shaman and making all the wives go through it. I think,
and of course it's Deandra.
And of course it's Deandra, someone who has a billion sides to her that I am absolutely living for this season. I think the one thing that obviously threw me off was that Brandy, as we'll talk about later, kind of just can't help herself from being a major Karen. Like that's honestly the truth here is that her makeup, I'm sure she's doing it herself. And you could tell because she looks like Donald Trump. She is wearing orange makeup. She looks like shit. I have to say that because if you're showing up on a Real Housewives season, she's had her makeup fine in the past. For some reason, she is getting orange, whatever it is, undertones in her makeup, and she looks terrible. And it doesn't help with her like mopey attitude. But then she just went on and on about how she thought that she's a Jesus-loving woman, she loves God, and that she's opening herself up to demons in the process. And like, I don't even know. That was just major Karen energy.
The way that she brought it up multiple times, she said it in her confessional. I was like, you truly wanted this to be a bit at the time. And months later, when they asked you the questions in the confessional, you have clearly done no self-reflection in this situation.
Well, see, it made me kind of think that wherever she went to like get help in between seasons, it must have been some like crazy religious place. Because I feel like I have never seen her talk this way in the 4 previous seasons that we saw. And like she came back and she is like a God-loving woman and she's going to tell everyone about it because she's a major Karen. And Josh, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, Sam, I almost feel like we're getting a different Brandy. I saw 4 seasons of a completely different person. This season has not been Brandy. It's not been her. It's like someone like in Revenge of the Body Snatchers. Like it's like someone took over her body and it's not her, because the Brandy I'm used to is fun and doing poop jokes and fart jokes with Stephanie and being ridiculous and funny. And I loved Brandy the first 4 seasons. I thought she was funny. But this season, she's like a Karen. She's just complaining about everything, or like she's scared to be herself in front of Tiffany. It's weird. And I'm not liking this side of her anymore.
Yeah, I think the crazy thing that I would have to say is like, I think this season has shown that this is the Brandy, like this is true self. And like that to me is sad because I would have never predicted that from the previous seasons, because before all of this drama, she was just not that kind of character at all. And I would have never thought that she would be so shook up about something like this shaman event, which is like so benign. Like it's like you're probably there for 30 minutes sitting around a circle and you have pedals and music being thrown at you. It's like the most benign thing you could ever have to sit through. And she is just like truly so shook up about it. And even last week when she was dealing with like we had to sit and have her read her own letter back to herself. And I was just like, oh my God, this is painful. Her own daughter was like, you're a Karen, because she wanted to bring her Jesus statue to this event. At this event, she apologized to Tiffany, said, oh, like what I said at the dinner table, it was on me. I didn't mean to put that pressure on you. I was dealing with my own demons, blah, 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 blah. I don't know. What are your guys' thoughts on that like apology of it all?
It was the best we could get from her on that. I do think it was genuine, so we'll just see what happens. I don't know. I want her to almost be off the show. Like, I'm ready for her just to be gone, and let's get fun people take over.
I want her off the show, but I will recant my previous statement when I said I didn't want her to show up to the reunion, that I want her there because I need her to address all of this and cheating scandal. That's what I need. I need Andy Cohen to grill her about it.
Let's talk about that.
Let's talk about
Let's talk about the husbands.
You want to talk about the husband? Never bring up my husband.
Was it yesterday? I think there was a video clip that got released that showed Brian making out with some random girl in Las Vegas. There has been rumors this last year that this is also really interesting, that this child is illegitimate. I don't believe that, but there was these rumors that Brian was cheating, that whatever happened. And Stephanie, if you guys have noticed, Stephanie has been on this huge media circuit lately trying to defend Brandy, saying like all those rumors are bullshit. Like you're terrible people for even believing that. But then we see this clip get released of Brian actually making out with some random girl 2 years ago who has like weird, I don't know, just Vegas. It's just some random Vegas girl. Like, so literally nobody. And it makes me recontextualize everything again and just be like, did she know about this at the time? Will we see her at the reunion? Because I think at this point, I don't think we're going to see her. Like, I think she has gone through so much. I think she her edit was going to become bad. I think she knew these cheating rumors were about to get released to the public. And I just saw today that she may have her own cheating rumors out there with Brian. So I don't even know what's happening. I don't think we will see her at the reunion because she knows she will have to, again, answer for what she said, and she doesn't want to do that. And that just pisses me off. I don't know. What are you guys' thoughts on this?
I think, truthfully, I don't know what she's thinking. Maybe she's on like a lot of Xanax or something. I think
she is. When she did that segment with her daughter, I was like, you are Xan the fuck out. She's talking really Xan. She was like, like I literally was like, are you okay? Like, are you okay?
She's eating those Xanax flavored Oreo cookies. That's what she's that's what she's doing. That's what I think.
I don't know. Kristian, what are your thoughts on all this?
I just like now at this point, because I'm so over Brandy, I'm like, maybe it's all true.
Yeah, honestly.
It's right there on video. It's true.
I know.
It's right there on video. He cheated right there on her. Right there.
It's right there on video. I can't wait to see Stephanie go on some kind of defense tour for Brandy there. But I don't know. I just think that I don't know. I am truly over Brandy as a character, and it's crazy to say that. And like, if you had told me that a year ago, like I used to think Brandy was like one of the best characters on Dallas, and I thought that she was. I used to think she was one of the funniest people on Real Housewives in general. Then when she's like confronted by this video that she made, it like completely shut her down as a person, and she has not been able to like function properly because she was called out for doing something super offensive. And ever since now, she's like even leaning in more towards that. Not only does she make Tiffany feel extremely uncomfortable and just puts Tiffany in a terrible place with this group, then she goes on this crazy Jesus thing. So let's continue. There were a few things in between the parties. So I think Tiffany asked for time off. Obviously, her boss says yes, because we don't live in this like crazy society. Of course, boss would say yes. I thought the Cameron segment was really interesting about talking about the house, because I think we saw the real Cameron slip through for just one brief second. And in the dual confessionals where she was like, can you not tell that this is controlling? Basically, he's not telling her anything about the process of the house. Her house is in escrow currently on the show. It's pending. There's a contract pending. And she says to him in confessional, can you not tell how controlling you're being? And that was, I think, the first time I think we've seen the real Cameron peek through the entire season. And I actually live for that, because you could just tell that like her whole act dropped for a brief second because she was like actually aware of her surroundings. I just thought that was like really hilarious.
I just love my Cameron accent because I can do it like so well, you know.
And your Cameron accent borders on like almost Australian accent too.
When she was talking about the snakes, I lost my goddamn mind.
I lost my goddamn mind.
Oh
Okay,
my god, Tiffany and the snakes.
Cameron to me is like, I live for Cameron. I think she is so stupid and funny, and like her character is so dumb, but she knows exactly what I think she knows exactly what she's doing at all times. Like I think she is so calculated with her character, but it's such an incredible character that she puts on these. Let's get to the Moroccan party because this is where she talks about the snakes. So there was a lot. This felt like, again, I've been saying this a lot. This Dallas party felt very Roni energy to me because there was just honestly so many things that were happening at one time that it was hard to keep track of. So Dee comes to the party. She says, I don't know what a Sharma is. That was a crazy line. Jennifer is there. She says she absolutely loved the shaman event. We didn't really see her there. Okay, then the snakes come out. And I would have been like Tiffany, like I really hate snakes. I had this like crazy fear of snakes, but I was shocked when Cameron had one in her lap and was like took on the persona of an animal rights activist. What were your thoughts, Josh?
Amazing. Cameron's reaction was funny, but come on, nothing beats Tiffany's. Nothing beats Tiffany's reaction to getting that snake on her. They have memes about it, like what you saw online and what you bought, and it's what you saw online is Britney Spears with the snake.
What were your thoughts? What were your thoughts, Kristian?
I would have been living my Britney Spears fantasy with these snakes. I thought it would have been so fun. And the way that Deandra was just like, she was like dancing on her knees around, just grinding on this fucking python. I was like, she is a bad bitch. I ride or die for Deandra, period, after she's like grinding up on this.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. We are on that team. And can we just say, we probably aren't talking about the Deandra versus her mom fight yet, but that made me cry in laughter.
Okay, that was wild. Like, let's literally talk about it. So Deandra is sitting there like minding her own business, and Mama D, who was she talking to? Was it
Jennifer? Jennifer was causing more drama again off screen. We didn't even get the close up of Jennifer asking. That's how you know they don't care about Jennifer, because they didn't refilm her asking. So we saw Jennifer ask Deandra through someone else because someone was in front of her, "Why is your last name Simmons, the name of your stepfather?" And Dee says, "Well, because Deandra said that would get her more money in the future," basically is what she said. And that set Deandra off. I was dying from this conversation. I honestly don't know what to say. Deandra denies that. She says that, oh, I changed my last name to Simmons because my stepfather was so good to me, blah, 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 blah. I don't know. I actually don't know who I believe here, but I don't know. What are your thoughts, Josh?
Mama D, she totally on team Mama D with this one, and I'm not usually. Mama D loves to stir the pot a little bit, but I think she definitely changed her last name to give her more opportunity, because I would do it. I would totally do it. Come on, what would you do in that case? No question. She changed her last name so she had Simmons on her name.
Right, 100%. Again, I'm with Josh. I never agree with Mama D, but in the situation, I'm like, looks a little fishy. And the way that Deandra got so defensive about it, I granted she was like super wasted, but I was like, you sound guilty. Like, I don't think if you knew that this wasn't the truth, like you wouldn't be this pressed about it. You'd be like, oh, my mom's just being a bitch again.
The best part about this, of the whole fight, is you get the close-up of Mama D. She's just drunk.
I don't know. I want to say that there's something there that, to me, the story isn't 100% yet. I think we'll obviously see a continuation next week when they're actually sober. But there's something about Dee saying that, and I don't know. I can kind of see Mama D telling Deandra maybe to change it for a certain reason. I don't really know. I think we'll see. We'll hear more about this. There are a few other things at this party that I want to hit really quick. Okay, what were your thoughts on Dee telling her life story and talking about stalking this man that she ended up marrying?
That was so weird, but also a mood.
It was a whole mood.
That was a mood for sure. No,
I thought we also saw a real Cameron there again, because she was like, what the fuck? Basically in confessional. That's really bizarre.
100%.
And at that party, we also saw Brandy confront Deandra about the shaman event again. We saw her say that she's a Jesus loving woman, that she doesn't believe that what she did was right. We need to rely on the word of God. Brandy says, "I'm your sister in God, in Christ." Okay. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that, Kristian? I want to hear your thoughts.
That shit makes me sick. I'm tired of it.
Yeah.
It seems so condescending at that point and so preachy.
Yeah, I was not having that.
It's like what they did was literally so benign. They like chanted and like had rose petals. Like I don't even understand what Brandy's talking about. And I just think Deandra, I want to see the reunion for Deandra will what Brandy's ass. I think if there is a reunion, Deandra went on interviews this last week and said that like her only regret this season was not defending Tiffany Moore at that dinner in Austin and like basically calling out Brandy in the moment. And so I think if we actually see Brandy show up to the reunion, I think we will see Deandra really fucking give it to Brandy. And that's all I want. Okay, I think that's Dallas. Brandy is revolting to all of us. We are in unison. She needs to go. I don't say that often because I think a lot of times when people are calling for firings, I think it's uncalled for or kind of premature. But to me, Brandy has so far ruined, like extended her welcome. She is so just tanking her own self on reality television. I've never seen someone this destructive to themselves on reality television, and it makes me very uncomfortable. I will give this episode 4 out of 5. Josh, what are your thoughts?
Honestly, I would probably give it a 4.5 out of 5 as well. So that's what I would.
You're giving it a 4.5. You're giving it a 4.5.
I say 4.5. Yeah, 4.5.
Okay, I'm gonna give it 4.5 too. I think that's really good. We just lost Kristian. Maybe he'll join us.
Maybe he'll join us again. But that's okay.
Maybe not. Let's talk about Jersey real fast. Okay, we have a lot to talk about here. I don't know. I think the thing that I like about Jersey is that it kind of moves at a very quick pace, and there isn't any one piece of drama that's going to be like latched onto for an entire season. So everything moves really quickly. Let's talk about kind of the big party, the big pool party. I think the big thing that happened there was Joe talking to Michelle's husband, John, about their dealings. What were your thoughts on that, Josh?
I thought it was going to escalate more than it did. It was kind of like they kind of teased us again, like they did earlier in the season with Teresa on the phone. Like they let it up to be, or that it's going to be, oh my God, Melissa cheated on. No, they weren't. And like this was not. It was like they riled it up to be this big deal, and it was nothing. Like it wasn't a lot. Actually, I thought Jen being drunk was more of a fun fun thing. But yeah, that's what I thought.
Let's talk through the Michelle drama a little bit more, because in my opinion, so for me watching what happened, there's a lot behind the scenes that they weren't saying because they couldn't say it. So I kind of think that they had some unwritten agreement to split the funds, because I think Joe Gorga folded really quickly when talking about it. So I think they had previously agreed and had it in contract that they were going to pay $2,000 for an appearance. And I think then they had a non-written contract to maybe split proceeds, but they couldn't enforce that. And then at the same time, Michelle's husband, John, was like, well, we just want Michelle to be the listing agent on Teresa's house because that's a $300,000 commission. So I think at the same time, he didn't want to fight against that because he knew that commission for Teresa's house was a really big deal for his wife. So I feel like they both kind of folded, I think. Was that your take on what happened?
100%. I think the whole thing was staged. I even think that pool conversation from the previous episode with Michelle and Teresa, I think that was staged as well.
I think that happened after this event. That's my opinion.
Yep.
I think
100%.
I don't think Michelle would have brought an entire staff with her to list a house if she didn't have the listing yet. So I think that happened after in time this previous pool segment.
Yeah.
Okay, so Jennifer gets really fucked up. I don't know what else there is to say. That she just gets super fucked up.
That was a mess. That was drunk. That was worse than Luann.
Yeah, that was Luann. That was That was Dorinda level drunk. That was
like alcohol poisoning.
Slosh.
I'm not nice.
Okay. Also, Teresa's not man / longtime friend Tony.
Oh, he's so sexy. He is a sexy man. I will say that.
He is a sexy man.
Yes, I want that.
Okay. Is there anything else from this week? There wasn't really much else that happened in Jersey. I think that was kind of.
Yeah, I think Margaret opened up about a few things as well. I really like Margaret. Margaret's kind of like one of my favorite housewives of any franchise. Margaret's in that bunch for me. I think that she's very real and true to who she is. And I just love seeing her. And she may not be the number one in the storyline sometimes, but she's a really fun addition to that cast. And honestly, one of the best additions to Jersey, I think, ever.
Yeah, I agree. She like exudes what we like in Housewives. She has a ton of confidence. She's still entertaining even when she isn't involved in any of the drama like she is this season. I think she is someone that will be in Jersey as long as they want to be in Jersey. Yeah. I might even read this book if it ever comes out. It sounds really interesting.
For sure. Honestly, between us, I kind of wish Margaret was there from the beginning instead of Caroline Manzo. Is that bad?
Oh, see, I do think they kind of exist in similar lanes. I think minus all of the like family aspect that comes with Caroline Manzo. Yeah, I think Margaret is like a great Caroline Manzo replacement.
Yes.
I don't want to ever like take away that Manzo family drama because it's just like so batshit. Okay, I think we saw some more progression of the Dolores story. Whatever. I'm gonna give this episode 3 out of 5. I think Jersey's pretty good. I think it's not incredible. It's not bad, but it does enough for me. 3 out of 5.
I agree. 3.5 out of 5 for me as well. Table flip wise, it was good. It wasn't the best. I think the best is coming though. I think this season's gonna be getting really good.
I think it's gonna be really, really good.
Looks good. Yeah. So
next week looks incredible. Let's get to our tops and bottoms of the week. So Josh, I'll have you go first. What are your tops? What are your bottoms?
My tops are Deandra for sure. Gave the drama, got drunk, but not too Jen drunk, but she got a good drunk, fought with her mother, fought with everyone. It was great. I love her. And, my bottom is also in Dallas. It's Tiffany. Not Tiffany. It's Brandy. I love Tiffany. Tiffany's towards the top. Brandy is my bottom. She just needs to go. They just need to Sherry pie her out of the season. She just needs to get edited out. I don't even want to watch her anymore. It's hard to watch. That's right.
Yeah, I agree. Brandy is one of my bottoms this week. I think she's just it's not fun to watch anymore. It's really miserable. And I think she realized that herself and she kind of preemptively quit. Brandy is my bottom. Stravi is in my bottom for making that whole ass PowerPoint. Girl, you knew that wasn't going to win Lindsay back. What are you doing? Wasting your time on a PowerPoint. True. My tops for the week, similar to you, another Dallas girl, but not a real housewife, but Miss Mama D. She was there to light shit on fire. She was, I'm going to cause drama at this party. I'm going to make Deandra lose her mind. And then she also is so supportive of Tiffany. And we love that about Mama D. So Mama D is my top. And I also have to give a shout out to Tony from Jersey because he's just so damn fine.
Whoa, he's my top too. Oh, he better be my top.
No, okay. He is very much top daddy. That's all I have to say about Tony. Okay, I think that's this week in Bravo. It was a great week. I'm sad we lost Kristian here to talk about Jersey, but I think I had a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to next week because I think there's a lot coming next week and a lot more news to talk about as well. So with that, I'll see you next week, Josh. Let's take this note.
Let's do some shout outs. So you can follow Kristian at _KRobs on Twitter. You can follow Sam at Sam Henson 24 at Twitter. And for me on Twitter and Instagram, you can follow me at Mendels8. And then you can also follow our channel, Couch Potato Queens, at Couch Potato QWNZ. We have a lot more stuff planned. Drag Race on Fridays. We're starting a challenge podcast as well. So we have a lot of stuff. We'll be doing Big Brother during the summer. So that's basically it. Sam, close it out.
Well, thank you, Josh. I'm sad Kristian dropped out, but he will join us again next week. I'm looking forward to just more shenanigans, more craziness. I can't wait for what comes when the rest of the season of Dallas. So that's all we have for today. Thank you so much for everyone to watch this. Thanks for joining us, and we will see you next week.